Okay, so hello everybody, welcome back. So I wanted to talk to you about food and money and tendencies for the market once things start to go kind of out of the system and things like that. So, having said all that, remember that I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. I'm just telling you what happens for experiences and things like that. And remember to watch these videos from the beginning because I do try to make my videos so that they make sense alone. However, they will make sense for the entire thought process if you watch them from the beginning, from the reproduction list. So anyway, before I continue, I wanted to remind you that down below is my email in case that you want to help me out by sending an Amazon gift card. So thank you very much, I really appreciate it. And I also have some books in Gumroad, and I have a PayPal account, and I have a couple of videos on the Amazon wishlist. I do not know how that one works, but anyway, it's there. Now, here is the deal. When you have inflation, the first thing that people will do logically, again, logic sometimes does not make sense because we are not logical beings. We are emotional. So, since we are emotional, you are going to be trapped in the system if you don't get out of there. So, let me explain this. We have a picture that we keep all the time, we share it like once a month or something, like in the social media, in the WhatsApp groups, the Telegram groups, and everything. It is about a rat. This rat has a jar. The jar is filled with grain, and the rat is eating it. Okay, so it says 1 month later, the rat kept eating the rice, but now she is trapped inside the jar, and now she can't get out of there. And not only that, but she is pooping inside this thing. And not only that, but she is eating everything. And basically now she's going to starve. The reason for that is because, obviously, she decided to stay within the system. The jar represents the system. The food that you have represents the rice that you have here. This is why things are going to get really crazy. And if you belong to the 80% of the population, you will find that people are buying more food and more food and more food because they think that this is security. It is to a certain point. But here is the deal. That food is going to run out. And you are going to be trapped like that rat. And you're going to be pooping and everything inside the system, and then you will have no way out. And this means that all of your emotions and your things and whatever the hell you're creating will be there, and you are going to go insane. The reason for this is the following. Let's say that you are making $1,000 right now every month. That is your salary. Your salary is not going to change. Never. You are going to get $1,000. That's it. You get $1,000 every month, January, until December, and then again next year, and it is going to be 1,000. Okay? So it's not going to go up. Now, right now, let's say that food, it's costing you $600. And you think that that is too expensive. So let's say that you decided to increase it from $600 to $800 so that you could store all the food for 1 year. Okay? So let's say that next month you were right, and the food went from $600 to $800. So you are thinking that you just saved $200. But what you didn't realize is that now you are spending more money on food, and now you don't have the luxury of going out, buying clothing, paying for the electrical bill, paying for the water bill, and you will have absolutely nothing. So basically, 99% of people will go reducing the cost. Reducing. So you want to reduce your expenses so that you can buy more food. However, you are consuming now the 12 months of food that you just got. Now, question. If before you were spending $600 on food in January, And let's say that the food went up $200 every month, okay? Because it's going to be kind of like that, 10% every month. So that's, around $60 to $100 every month. So anyway, give me a minute. There was a small earthquake, very small, but anyway. So I was saying to you that, let's say that every month the food is going to go up, 10%. So January 600, February 660, and then another 70, because now it's not going to be 60, it's going to be 70 because it's a little bit more. Every time it's going to be a little bit more. So 70, and then it's going to be 80, and then it's going to be 90, and then it's going to be $100. So by the end of the year, right now, if you were to buy food, January 2020, you were spending $600. January 2021, you are spending over $1,000, literally, because of inflation or hyperinflation. Question: what makes you think that after you have consumed all of this food, because it has been 1 year and you consumed everything, what makes you think that with your salary that is $1,000, you are going to afford food for January 2021 if the food is costing you $1,100? This is why I told you that 80% of people will be going crazy the first 3 months, buying food and whatever, and then they're going to focus on reducing expenses and getting more food. When you do that, you just fell into this trap. And by the 6th month, half of the people, virtually, literally, I'm not joking, half of the people will be broke. They will not be able to afford one bite of food, because literally all of your salary, $1,000, will be spent in the transportation system to try to get to your freaking job, because if you don't go to your job, you won't get the money. And inflation is not just affecting the freaking food, it's affecting the transportation thing. And this is why I told you that transportation, roads, and your car and your EDC are the three most important things. If you do not have transportation and you do not have roads, you can't get to your freaking work. If you can't get to your freaking work, you can't get the $1,000 that you are supposed to be making. That transportation system is going to cost you at least $500. And I do mean at least. Half of your money is going to go towards transportation for whatever reason. Because you have to pay the cash, because you need to stop at the bank, because you don't have cash, because you need to pay the internet, because you need to pay the gas, because you need to pay the mechanic, because you need to pay the tires, because you had an accident and now you have to pay the insurance. Oh hell, it's going to be half. And the other half is going to be food. However, you were spending literally $600 worth of last year's money. And it was, it was barely enough for 1 month. Now you only have $500, and the budget for your food is $1,100. And then you have absolutely no room for anything else, just transportation and food. What happens when you have to pay rent, or you have to pay electricity, or you have to pay the water bill, or you have to pay other things that you're supposed to be paying? Then literally your food budget just went from, going into the first line, now it's in the third line. Because you need something to get out of your house. Meaning, transportation. If you don't have a car, or you need to pay insurance, you need to pay the mechanic, you need to pay whatever, that's half of your budget right there. And after that, you need to pay your house. You need to pay, the electricity, the propane. Because if you have food but you can't cook it because you don't have propane, what the hell are you going to do? At this point, you will realize that you need to pay for all of these things and you have absolutely nothing. You have virtually zero. So you're broke. And it has been only 3 months. 3 months and you will realize that half of your money is gone and you can't do anything. 6 months into this problem and you will realize that you are completely broke. 6 months later, the government is offering, freezing the prices, and the government is offering a hell of a lot of things, including ration cards or whatever, and they are, giving you boxes that, that are supposed to be filled with food or whatever, and they are telling you what you're going to eat. They are choosing the brand and whatever, they are putting combos, and you are supposed to deal with that, and you're supposed to pay $10, $20, $50 for that food, even though it's worth nothing. Because that food is, by the way, the food that they're going to put into those boxes is expired. The food is imported from places that have problems with that food. So basically, it's like you are being given food that nobody else will buy, and food that has been contaminated, and food that has been, not treated properly with the cold reaction thing. Meaning, let's say that you buy meat. You're supposed to keep it frozen. But, there is no frozen meat. So basically you're getting meat that for all you know has been, in the environment with no freezing whatsoever for at least a couple of days. For all you know, this thing might have been in the warehouse, God knows how long, and then that's what you're eating. And that's what they're giving you. And that is what you're taking because the alternative is you starving. So, I'm sorry. But, everybody fell into this trap. I swear. It's just, you prepare for this because you're expecting to beat it. You can't beat it. I'm just telling you, you can't beat it. There is no way you're going to beat it. This is why governments that had this problem, people just overturned them in less than a year. However, if the government has, guns and powers and stuff that you can't compete against, then your alternative is leaving or starve to death or, be a slave of the freaking system. So now, what can you do about it? Right now, there is an alternative. Well, there are several alternatives. Number one, there will be people that are growing food that is not the common kind of food. Let me explain this. Let's say that every day you are used to eating oatmeal for breakfast with an apple and milk. That's just common for you. However, let's say that you are, in California. However, in California, that was not what was for breakfast 100 years ago. So your grandparents and the indigenous people used to have cactus, a certain kinds of cactus for breakfast. And I'm saying use this as an example. I'm making it up, okay? But it's kind of like for you to notice. And this cactus is grown naturally in California. So basically you can find it everywhere because it grows there. You don't even need to buy seeds because you can find it everywhere. But you didn't know that you could eat the freaking cactus. Why? Well, because we have a culture about eating that we eat only the certain things that we are accustomed to and we don't eat anything else. So now there is a hidden market called exotic kind of like a lover thing, and now it's coming back. So now certain people that they decided to not go in, they don't want to be in the system, I don't want to buy seeds and do things to the environment that they're not supposed to be doing, like growing, let's say that in California there wasn't any, let's say that in California they don't grow mangoes, okay? But now, all of a sudden, because everybody wants mangoes, you have mango trees in California. But mangoes are from South America. They are not from California. Can you make them there? Sure. But are they local? No. So now the tendency from Malaysia and several other countries, I swear is insane. This tendency, you should see, the whole thing, is you growing things that are actually local to your place and then sell them as exotic and then put them in restaurants and stuff like that. So now you found a niche for the cactus, because cactus is something that you don't have anywhere else. You only can find it in California. And now people are making it. And they will teach other people how the hell to make it. And now you can have cactus all year round because you don't have to pay transportation. You do not need to grow it and care for it or whatever, because it has been there forever. So the tendency is that. For that, you need to have people that are willing to go to their ancestors. Meaning, there are people that now are talking to elderly people that are 80 and over and asking them, what the hell did they have for breakfast, lunch, and whatever? What the hell were they eating? And they are looking for those seeds. And they are actually, making it a new tradition to go back to your roots. Because these seeds are there. They are free. And because this plant has been there forever, you don't need to care for it that much, and they won't get sick as the other plants would. You don't need as much fertilizer. And also, it is more expensive, because not everybody will grow cactus. And in the restaurants, people will sell the cactus as a delicacy thing, and it can cost, $50 or $100, even though the real cost is what? Maybe $2? See? So there is a market for this kind of thing. So there is also a market for creating snails and escargots, and I don't know the name in English, but basically like the snails. Some snails are going to be poison. However, some of them you can grow them in a very small space, and it is very expensive. And if you grow them organically and stuff like that, you can sell them in Europe, especially countries like France and stuff like that. And this will give you euros, and this will give you money. And this will also, will help you in case that, you get into a hell of a lot of trouble trying to find food, because you can trade it. Because again, people will always there is always a bunch of people that will try new plates, and they will call it exotic. And with this, you can not only make money, but you are also helping the supply for the food. It doesn't have to be all oatmeal and apples. It can be things that not everyone is accustomed to. And all it takes is one freaking chef. If you have one chef that tastes whatever it is that you are making, the cactus, the snails, whatever, and they publish that, oh hell, then you're popular, and that's it. You're done. You can, grow your business, and you can produce food, and this is not going to be expensive, and you can do this easier and faster than you trying to learn, other things. The problem with food, I have told you before, is that the foods are being mechanized. They are being industrialized. And for that, you require a hell, and I do mean a hell of a lot of water and a hell of a lot of electricity. If you don't have electricity and you do not have water, then the food industry will entirely be broken, collapse in less than a week. That is what happens in the countryside. However, if you have a farm that is self-sustainable, like the one in California, if you do not know what the hell I'm talking about, then watch the documentary called the Biggest Little Farm or something like that. And these guys, they decided that they are fed up with the food industry, going crazy, charging whatever the hell they want for food, even though it's not organic, and even though, it's not sustainable during time. So they took this whole process of producing their own food, organic and whatever, it took them 7 years. That's why I told you, your gardening, yeah, it takes 7 years for you to produce something, something good. And your garden is going to take a little while for you to get used to that. You can't grow all the food that you're going to need in 1 week. You just can't. And yes, you can have a house that is, enough space in the walls and everything to produce a hell of a lot of food. However, that is worth nothing if you're not there all the time to do it. Meaning, this will take a full-time job for you. And this is the deal. We need, and I do mean we need, in any country, if you do not have one farm like that one, like the one that they have in that documentary, one for every 50 people, that is the bare minimum number. If you do not have that, then those farms, the small ones, if let's say that you have one for every 100 people, the number is too little. And that number is so little that they are going to be attacked by the government. As soon as there is no food whatsoever, the government will put their hands in there, and then basically they will take over. Because nobody will care and everybody will be hungry, and then that is going to create a hell of a lot of problems in the countryside, because now the government will get there and will tell you, I'm sorry, we are confiscating everything that you produce this month and we are paying you this much. And then you're kind of like, oh hell no, it's worth more. And then they are like, oh hell no, because there are people starving and this is your obligation. And yeah, then you're going to have, like I said, a hell of a lot of field day for lawyers. But at this point it won't matter, because they will just take over your farm. However, if the number is 1 for every 50 people, then the government will not be able to do that much, because you have too much people involved into the farm. And then it's like you can't take one farm, because then all the other farms will go against the government. So you will have some sort of leverage. The ideal number for that farm to be able to sustain your food and grow locally and everything will be 1 in every 25 people. So you need one farm like that one from that particular movie or documentary thing for every 25 people. The bare minimum that I will suggest is getting one farm like that for every 50 people. So what can you do about it right now? Well, let's see. If you are unemployed and you are passionate about growing food and stuff like that, then you can call all of your friends and did exactly what those people did. Ask people, hey, help me out. Sign papers saying, hey, I'm going to buy this farm, this is going to cost this much, I need this money, and in 7 years we will have food this much, and blah, 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 blah. And then you go for it, and then you start producing that food, and then you start making that number smaller. Let's say that right now you have one farm like that in 1,000 people. Yeah, that's too little. That farm is going to go to hell as soon as the government says that there is a hyperinflation and there is no food, so they're going to take over. Because you are too small and you don't have protection. However, it's not the same having one farm that having, 40 farms or having 100 farms. Oh hell, if the government tries to get to take 100 farms, I can tell you right now, you will have at least 100 lawyers, you will have at least, a battle chance, and there is no way in hell that they are going to, attack you, at least, directly, and so you will have leverage for producing food and consuming food and doing whatever the hell you want with your freaking food. However, in my country we were very little, and because everything was kind of industrialized, so farms started to go bankrupt as soon as problems with electricity started to appear. Then we had problems with the water because of the pipes. And then the countryside went to hell as soon as, everybody just went into the farms and raided them like crazy. And the government did nothing. In fact, the government say that the people that raided the farms were correct because they are starving and there is, it is the farmers' fault. Again, because they were very little. Because we don't have enough farms like that. You need at least one farm for every 25 people that is like that. That is self-sustainable, that does not require that much of electricity, power, whatever. And hell, for all I know, they can be making their own things by biofuel or whatever. You need that. So the only way for you to get out of the system, produce your own food, actually thrive and stuff like that is go that way. And if you don't want to do it because you're like my daughter that, oh hell no, she's not dealing with insects and stuff like that, then you need to support these people by lending them money. And by the way, let's say that you lend them $1,000 and that gave you 1% of the company. Or let's say that they give you 0.5% of the company. In 7 years, this company is going to be producing a hell of a lot of food for everyone. How much money do you think is going to be worth your share? And most importantly, if there is a food shortages or whatever, and then you own this company, even if it is a tiny bit, then what makes you think that you will go hungry? For all you know, you can say them, hey, I owe you, because, I lended you money, I supported you, now help me out. Pay me with the food. You don't have to pay me with money, you can give me food. Because that's what some people are doing right now. In fact, that is what some people are doing. So, one of the most lucrative investments that you can make is energy being produced by trash. Because, we're always going to make trash and we're always going to need energy. And the other one is self-sustainable farming. Because you are always going to need food and we need it to be completely off the system. And with this, you might be able to make it. Like I said, the thing about food is that I have been telling you in all of the videos about food. Food is about control. You can't control people with money because people have woken up. People now know that money is a tool. It's not, you cannot be slave of money. And some of us are still working through that, by the way. Not all of us are, free from the money problem. But whatever. Point being that, people that have money, they realize that other people are getting money. And other people are doing whatever the hell they want. Because now, with all the tools that have internet and stuff, a lot of people are making money by playing video games and doing a hell of a lot of things that are, not even, difficult. However, with all the money in the world, if there is a shortage of food, water, and electricity, what the hell are you going to do? At this point, you are going to be depending upon the cardboard thing and the clap thing. Research it. C-L-A-P. Clap. Oh hell, you will know a hell of a lot of things about control. So if you don't want to fall into that within 1 year, because that's all it takes, 1 year, then go and support the ecological farm. Or for all I know, do it yourself. And try to get ahead of the curve by not falling into just reducing your expenses. Try to produce income, extra income. Because if you do not produce extra income, it doesn't matter how much money you make. Right now, the minimum wage is less than $3. But if you're going to buy food for one person, it is going to cost you $95. Bare minimum. And I do mean bare minimum for one person. One person requires $100 worth of food. for month, per month, and you're only getting 3. Where the hell are you going to get the other 97 every month? This is what it means to live in hyperinflation. You don't know, and you will depend upon help from foreigners and help from other people, because there is no way in hell that you're going to live with the $3 a month that they're giving you for your work. And by the way, for you to get to your job, unless you're walking there, you're spending $60 to get there. $2 every day at least. So 30 days, because, whatever, you're making it up, whatever, $60, So it's costing you $60 to get there. If you do not believe what I'm talking about, then, again, watch the video from Coffee Talk when he says, garnish it checks. If you do not believe that this is possible, mathematically, economically, or whatever, watch that freaking video. And then you will know. This is just like step 1. After that, you're a slave. You depend upon the clap. If you depend upon the clap, oh my God, I hope that you do not. I hope that you find a way to have other foreigners help you. Like the way that I have been getting help from family and friends and donations from the gift cards and whatever. So I hope that this is helpful, and never give up. Just be open to the possibility of other kinds of incomes. You never know how you're going to make it, but God knows how He's going to help you, because God is biased. He's biased towards you. Okay? He's not fair. He's biased towards you, because He wants you to be stronger, and He wants you to be yourself, and He will never, ever, ever, want you to suffer. It's just you, because you're falling into the system. Get out of there and live your life. Make research about alternatives, because there are at least 1% of the population globally is doing the same thing that I'm doing right now with you. They are sharing the information for the ecological farms, for the ecological production of escarlots and snails and stuff like that. And they are exporting it mostly to France and China. And they are also, producing other things that our ancestors did. Go back to your roots. This will make you feel better. And it will also be an opportunity to meet new people. And God knows what the hell, will happen to you in the way. For all you know, you will find a way to heaven. So I hope you get there and that you are happy about it. So thank you for watching.